If anything, they probably made it better.
I don't know,
honestly.
but they brought attention to the fact now there's a LaGuardia website.
Right. They updated the 80s graphics. Yeah.
Local cutie says, "Hey, soldier boy." You're like, yeah, over here.
It's not gonna happen, buddy. Yeah. Not gonna happen.
Your fingerprints are on record. I mean, they're matched to the IOC for this.
That's a special kind of stupid.
Yeah,
that's a special kind of stupid. That's not normal stupid.
Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the Cyber Guys, the cybersecurity podcast for everybody. My name's Andrew Valencia, and as always, I'm joined by Mike Hill. And today, we actually have a guest, our good friend, funny guy, super awesome dude I know, Orlando Gonzalez.
He's a cybersecurity expert.
How's it going, man?
Welcome, guys.
Expert may be a little bit of a stretch, but I have been in the business for a little while, and thank you very much for the welcome.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, you bring a wealth of knowledge and experience. Like, you are wise.
Oh man,
you are an expert.
You're
you're
gonna mess him up, starting him off like that, Andrew. You're gonna mess him up. This is it's too much too soon.
I've got a feeling he's softening me up for the kill. I know it's coming.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Gotta get that underbelly exposed. All
right, what you got?
No, so we've had a lot of past episodes have been like super serious. We've had some good guests on. I thought today we'd take a little bit of a lighter touch, a little lighter approach. I thought bring it in. Let's tell some stories. Let's look at some memes.
All right.
Let's joke around a little bit. I don't know. It's something. I mean, here's the thing. Hacking doesn't always have to be serious. Hacking can actually be funny. It can actually be hilarious.
There's a couple in honesty, just the other night, cybersecurity made the late night circuit, because some Russians tried to hack the airport websites. Not the flight control, not the tower, not anything critical, just the airport website. It was
based
devastating.
on what I read, they were actually successful, which was hilarious, but
it is.
Okay.
But it's the website. Who cares about the website?
If anything, they probably made it better.
I don't know,
honestly.
But they brought attention to the fact now there's a LaGuardia website.
Right. They updated the 80s graphics.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, maybe so. All right. But the point is,
absolutely.
I hate to think that's their best shot, but if it is, we're all right.
We're doing good.
Well, they're ops. I'll tell you what. That's actually, man, I couldn't have asked for a better segue into like the first topic that I wanted to actually talk about. So, I think this is funny. I think this is pretty hilarious. So, Russia has been kind of it's had some issues internationally.
Yeah,
recently, this past year, right? I guess we'll play it like that. But yeah, they're actually in Ukraine at the moment. Or Russian soldiers are in Ukraine, and there was an awesome story that came out. A couple different outlets that reported it. That Ukrainian hackers were honeypotting Russian soldiers, either by posing as women on dating apps or actually just presenting themselves
the Rusky
on dating apps.
Rusky Tinder.
The Rusky Tinder.
All right. I don't know where this is going.
This is what's really, really interesting about this. Yeah, this is what's interesting about this, is that they were actually able, the people who participated in this, and I'm going to point this out. I'm going to look, I'll reference the article here in a second. This is not a coordinated effort. This is something that just people are randomly doing. There's one girl who's in her late teens who just started doing this on her own. There's a hacking collective in Ukraine that started doing it as well, but they were very effective. And what they were actually able to do is get these Russian soldiers to provide location data, pictures, enough information where they were actually able to geolocate their position, pass that on to journalists who then passed it on to the Ukrainian army. And one of the instances resulted in one of their air bases getting knocked down.
Wow. It does go to show you, people don't really think about what they're doing sometimes on social media. Geolocating, I mean, are you kidding me?
And sometimes it's not even the social media. I mean, I remember a couple of articles where Fitbit was big.
Yeah.
You had basically the tracks of the folks in the military that were using the Fitbits, and it showed exactly where they were running, how many of them were running, and it was all publicly available.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows their running route, shows the outline of the base, the perimeter of the base.
They're running
because that's where they're running the fence line. They're running the fence line.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Outstanding. Yeah. This is one of the more integrated everybody is, right? The more things we have, like smartwatches and all that, the more this stuff just comes up. And naturally, if you're going to put a bunch of soldiers on on the front line with devices that they can actually utilize and get access to dating websites, guess what they're going to fall victim to? Some social engineering
every
right?
time.
So let's get into it.
Catfish.
The Ukrainian catfish. Yeah, man, that sounds like a really good show.
I'd
watch that show. I'd watch that.
Right.
Yeah. So this is actually reporting out of Metro, right? So a Ukrainian teenager who was forced out of her home by Russian invaders actually turned to technology for revenge. So she used a local dating app, to flirt with the enemy soldiers, and they got them to send her pictures, videos, voicemails, all those things. And so they ended up actually giving up, sensitive information. And this tactic, that social engineering or honeypotting, this is nothing new.
Going on forever.
This has happened.
Yeah. It's actually part of a big strategy. Whenever you set up an organization and you set up their cybersecurity strategy on what we call a pursue and prosecute model, that's what it's for. You ultimately want to collect evidence, collect data, collect as much intelligence as you can on the threat actor. And if you can just set them up by pointing them to a fake subnet, a fake virtual environment, whatever, you can just collect all the attribution information right there. So it's actually a legitimate part of a strategy. But just to see some kid just say, I guess she must be a cutie or something, and she's going to throw her stuff out there and just attract all those lonely, far from home, young Russian soldiers. Well, like I say, Ukrainian catfish.
Her name is Lisa. Obviously, that's not her real name because she's not going to give out her real name. But she's a brave one out there doing some good work, I think. And I do think it's funny being untrained in this, how well her tactics kind of adhere to like some social engineering techniques that we know, right? Baiting, pretexting, actually phishing, right? These are pretexts that are developed just based on human nature. And so anytime you're throwing humans into the mix, that's all going to stay the same. It's always going to happen. And I guarantee not one of those soldiers has ever had an OPSEC.
Or it all went out the window. They forgot all their OPSEC training, because they're sitting in a trench, in the eastern part of Ukraine, missing the girlfriend or the wife, or who knows, maybe they're a pack of incels.
Yep.
You never know, whatever the case is.
But
being
a 17-year vet after a month in the field, you forget a lot of things.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Some
local, a lot of priorities.
Local cutie says, "Hey, soldier boy," you're like, over here.
Opportunity.
Yeah, I do remember that time. I do remember that time being in the field, and there's always that. Again, the ins and outs of Russian OPSEC training is beyond my skill set, but it was heavily drilled into our brains, and I know that when I was out there in the field. I would have shrugged my shoulders and probably kept moving on, being that hard up, especially being, a Russian soldier. So here's the thing is there's such an easy target that, this teenage Lisa, she was not the only one to do this. There's actually, so this is from Business Insider. So a group of Ukrainian hackers set up fake accounts of women, of attractive women, to trick Russian soldiers into sending them photos. And then they use those to geolocate where they were, track their movements, pass that information on to the Ukrainian military. And that led to actual successful military, kinetic tactics being used. Absolutely. And so the funny thing here is that this is the leader of this hacktivist group, or this hacker group. His name is Nikita Kanish. I butchered that, I am sure. But he's an IT professional out of Kharkiv. And he created a group of Ukrainian hackers called Hack Your Mom. And among other things that they have done, like hacking into some state-run Russian websites and some news broadcasts, is this tactic what they've done within Ukraine, which is, honeypotting soldiers, getting them to reveal information and passing that on to the military. So this is a collective effort, of course, of the civilian hacker group out in Ukraine, making some real efforts to gain intelligence. It's awesome.
And I can tell you, the training should be really, really simple. If you're a 5 on the scale of how you think you look, and an 8, 9, or 10 is messaging you, guess what? It's too good to be true. That's all you need to tell them. There's nothing else to tell them.
Don't you believe it? That's it. Don't you believe it?
It's not going to happen, buddy. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, she doesn't want you. She's catfishing you, except for instead of catfishing you with an ugly chick, she's catfishing you with a bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's going to hurt.
It's terrible. That's the Ukrainian catfish.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There you go. Yeah, like what was it? What do they call it? The Ghost of Kyiv, right? Was that that ace pilot back in the beginning of the invasion? Yeah, now they're going to have the Ukraine catfish. That's what it's going to be.
I think MTV could probably run a show.
So in that vein, right? So hacking is not always, just about stealing information or doxing somebody or even shutting down communication altogether, right? A lot of times it can be used for, seemingly good purposes, right? So have you guys heard of the Goodwill Ransomware?
No.
So this is relatively new. It's been out, it's been found out in the wild for a few months now. But essentially what it is it's ransomware that requires the victim, in order to gain access to their information, they have to actually go out and commit good deeds.
Oh, what?
To get access.
Now, good deeds against your will. Good deeds at gunpoint.
So,
all right, I got you.
Right. So they either got to they have to do some charitable work, do something to that nature. I do want to show you guys what this actually looks like because it's crazy what they have to do to get to the encryption key. So, all right. So this is what pops up onto your.
Hey, don't worry, your files are safe.
The second you're a victim of.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
How exactly is that picture supposed to make someone feel comforted? I mean, think it's a dark room, blue lights, guy with a hood saying, "Hey, don't worry, your files are safe." Yeah, right.
With the creepy eyes.
Yeah, what's up with the eyes?
I know.
Looks like a
creepy hooded eyes.
Yeah, something crazy about that.
I know their shot composition is pretty sound though. I'll give them that. All right. So the next page that comes up it says our aim. The word goodwill means to show kindness. So here's their story. Team Goodwill is not hungry of money and wealth, but kindness. We want to make every person on the planet to be kind and wants to give them a hard lesson to always help poor and needy people. So I don't know if you can tell just by the grammar.
Yeah.
These probably aren't native English speakers.
Definitely not. But it's just wrong-headed. I mean, the whole idea that you can make someone be good, churches have been trying to do that for thousands of years and it doesn't work.
Yeah, but if you could at least get a good deed in here or there, eventually it adds up.
Just wait till we get to the prompts. It gets
okay.
So of course take deep breath and look all around for those who needs help. No way. The only way to help yourself is to help others. Hope you understand.
Okay.
Man. Okay, so then you get your activities. Here's the activities that you're given. Activity 1 equals Goodwill 1. So what to do? That we all know thousands of people die due to sleeping on the roadside in the cold because they do not have clothes to cover their body. So your first task is to provide new clothes, blankets to needy people of roadside and make a video of this event. Later, post this video photo to your Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp stories by using photo frame provided by us and encourage other people to help needy people in winters.
Wow.
It does not cost you high, but matters for humanity. So clothe the poor. That's activity 1. So, you're supposed to take a video of you providing clothes to people on the roadside and then upload it to Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. That's activity 1 that'll get your information back. Apparently,
I think I know the guy who wrote this. I'm just joking.
Yeah. You know what? I think you might be right. I've seen a few emails that look like that as well. But it just goes to show you that Google Translate is not really effective in most directions from foreign language to English. No. And I don't think it's that good from English to another language. My daughter was just telling me the other day.
Duolingo will only take you so far.
You better get on that Babbel. Get on that Babbel.
Yeah, Babbel. It's all garbage.
This is also this next activity is one of my favorite.
Goodwill 2.
This is Goodwill number 2. I'll just read through this real quick. All right. So after completing the first activity, you'll be promoted to activity 2. So thousands of poor children have to sleep hungry in long, cold nights because those ill-fated people have no luxury to have dinner every night in this cruel world. You cannot feed them for life, but you can give them 2 moments of happiness. How? Listen. In the evening, pick any 5. I'm gonna read this. It'll be hard for me to read this straight face. In the evening, pick any 5 poor children under 13 years of your neighborhood and take them to Domino's/Pizza Hut or KFC. Someone's got to tell them that Pizza Hut and KFC
they're not healthy either,
now, right?
And it's not a good thing.
Then allow them to order the food they love to eat and try to make them feel happy. So I'm just supposed to go to my neighborhood, pick some
random child,
13, just grab poor kids
and take them to the local fast food joint.
Make sure you check those IDs so that they're 13 and under too.
Right.
I have to start. So one has to start asking themselves, okay, so is my information important enough to me to go?
That's exactly where you're going.
But just think about the visuals of that. I mean, a guy in a car, waving a bag of chicken, say, "Hey, little children, come eat some fried chicken." I mean, the optics of that is just all wrong. Instead of candy, you're luring them to your car and Domino's.
Didn't we just have some popo in Houston shoot a guy who was just sitting in his car?
Yeah, exactly.
Hamburger.
He was eating a hamburger in the fast food restaurant's parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't pull out of the drive-through and eat right there. I mean, what? Without getting shot? So the idea of luring children in just to save just to unlock your ransomware, I don't see how that's going to fly.
No, they can take my files.
Right.
Yeah. So here's the last one, right? So once you complete activity 2, you get activity 3. I'm going to skip to the good stuff here, right? So here's what they want you to do. They want you to go to the nearest hospital in your area, observe the crowd around the inside of the hospital, and then you're going to see people who need certain amounts of money for medical treatment, and you have to give them the money.
Okay, this person obviously has no clue on the cost of medical care, medical treatment,
or how it works, because you can't pay with cash usually.
Now they want you, so they want you to record audio while you have this conversation with whoever you're donating money to, and then you have to write a beautiful article. Not just post the video. You have to write a beautiful article in your Facebook and Instagram by sharing the experience, your experience with other people. That's it, and then you get your files back.
What I really believe is missing from this, because I think somehow or another you're missing something, or this website or this thing is missing something, because there has to be another page after that says, or send me 5 Bitcoin, because that's what it really sounds like it's setting up. After all of that, it seems like they really just want some money.
It is the most misguided, ridiculous, shut up and dance. It's a Black Mirror reference, right? Kind of ransomware attack. It literally is just making an attempt to force people to do these insane acts of charity.
I love how it's tiered. Activity 1, activity 2, activity 3.
Yeah, you got to start from the ground floor and work your way up. Yep, you got to start from the bottom.
Has anyone ever seen any Facebook videos of anyone actually trying to comply with this stuff?
Yeah, I haven't seen any.
Seen anyone try to comply with this specifically, but there are a lot of Instagram and Facebook posts that keep popping up in my feed. That's about like one guy was like, "Hey, excuse me, ma'am, do you have $1 so I can take the bus?" And she's like, "Sure, you know what? Here you go." But of course, 5 other people said, "Man, get out of here. Go away. Leave us alone." So what does he do? He turns around and gives that person $300 because she was the first person that actually gave him the money, thinking that he actually needed it and wanted to truly help him. So, I mean, I have seen those videos, but they didn't mention Goodwill.
Yeah, that stuff's they have stuff all over the place like that. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen this actually executed, but basically what you see here is like what you get once you're done. This is the email. You're supposed to send these people an email with with your system ID, all of your tasks, your experience, your social media links, and then they send you the decryption tool so you can get your
I think you guys might want to get your script writers and we could do a bad Goodwill Hunting movie on this.
Yeah. That's some bad will hunting, no doubt.
Yeah.
Wow.
A really bad movie.
Yeah, my goodness.
It's funny. So you guys have seen Black Mirror, right? That episode Shut Up and Dance where they have there's an episode of Black Mirror that's very similar to this, but just the inverse, where people who have done bad things and been caught are essentially getting blackmailed to do various tasks, right? That's very close to this, but I think it's funny to think that people would rather do bad deeds to get their information back than follow this Goodwill instruction, right? to do all this stuff, because it's not. It's so ridiculous.
Honestly, go directly to jail.
Yeah, it really seems to me almost like this is someone who wants to do some hacking, has no intention of getting anything from it, but doesn't necessarily want to be accused of extortion.
Basically,
it's a way of hacking, and
I mean, it's still breaking the law. I mean, it's still
it's kind of funny,
it's still a criminal act.
So in some jurisdictions, simply accessing someone's system is not necessarily against the law, but obviously, if you're breaking someone's, system, there are different laws. But it's kind of funny. It's not like a government system where the Computer Security Act kicks in and it's an immediately a felony. It's actually a lot of people are surprised. Well, which should be surprised to find that a lot of person-to-person hacking crimes are not necessarily prosecuted the way you would expect.
All right, so I also have a dumb criminal story. We all love our dumb criminals, right? Okay, so there is a company that has a lot of high value assets that they store in warehouses, and the way they enforce access control is through biometrics, through their fingerprints. So a hacker who was attempting to break into one of their facilities thought that if they gained access to the system externally, that maybe they could just bypass the whole process of just breaking into the site physically altogether. So what they ended up actually doing is planting evidence of their crime at the scene of the crime before the crime was committed. So here's what he ended up doing. Here's what they ended up doing. They actually took their own fingerprints, gained access to the key store in the information system, and planted their own fingerprints in the key store to gain admittance into these warehouses.
Let me just make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So he was successfully able to hack into the identity management system itself, put his fingerprints in it as if he was a regular user, so that he could just walk up and be admitted because his fingerprint was one of the fingerprints in the database. Brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant.
You got it.
In one direction only.
They don't call this the dumb criminal file for nothing.
But I mean, think about it. But that's a perfect example of just thinking about 50%. Hey, if I'm in the database, I'm going to be able to just walk right up and hit my fingerprint and it'll let me in.
Now
dude, you're putting your fingerprint in the database.
But in the dumb criminal guy's defense, if you've never been fingerprinted, which
a large percentage of the population has not been fingerprinted. That's true.
Could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to know?
That's the only scenario where maybe
I'm just saying.
Someone who's not in any fingerprint registry, has never gotten a clearance, never been
it's highly doubtful because you're processed for bazillions of things now with
I mean, nowadays, a regular job, you might have to give you fingerprints.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so it's crazy. But the idea of thinking about just the first half of it, okay, I can just walk up and it'll treat me like I'm an authenticated user because I'm already in the database. So he figures out how to break into the system. That sounds smart, and it's put my biometric signatures in there. And then, I just walk right up and hit the pad and I'm in.
But if you're only problem is trouble.
Well, and the assumption is that no one's going to know. That's the thing. Right. The assumption is going to be no one's going to be able to figure out what happened after the fact, right? They didn't even think, okay, what if there's an actual monitoring system? What if there's an actual, and that's exactly what this company had. So here's the good part. This is how he got caught, right? So the company was employing dark trace, right? And basically what it was able to do was it said, this is irregular activity. This is not good. I'm going to report it to my information security team. And so the second a human being looked at it, went, yeah, that's not right. They went ahead and forwarded those fingerprints over to the police. And guess what popped back?
The face.
Yep, guy's identity.
Yeah,
and he got arrested.
Very easy. I mean, dumb. Like I said, but you'll always get these people that are halfway dumb because he's halfway smart because he had the thought to break in the system. He had the thought of entering credentials that would be effective. But he didn't think about the fact that, guess what? We're talking biometrics, dude. We're talking about what you are. We're not talking about what you have. We're not talking about what you know. We're talking about what you are. So now your fingerprints are on record. I mean, they're matched to the IOC for this.
That's a special kind of stupid.
Yeah,
that's a special kind of stupid. That's not normal stupid.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Cyber Guys podcast. If you like the episode, make sure you drop a like. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button already. If you want to take us on the run with you, don't forget to check out our audio podcasts on the road. Big thanks to Orlando for coming on the show again. Don't forget, stay safe, be secure, be sure. We'll see you next time.